Ayan. So now that everyone is in the room, I guess we're ready for our presentation. And a while ago, we received a message that a particular region volunteered to present na mauna yung kanilang output. So without further ado, I'd like to call the facilitator of Region 11 to introduce the presenter, Ma'am Jogolapa.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Ma'am Carmen. Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, Region 11 was headed by their regional MD coordinator, Sir George Wong, with his alternate from Janet Esteban. The documenter, Ma'am Rosaline Baon from Double City, and the um, consolidated output of Region 11 will be presented by Ma'am Ronnie Tel Loberanes from Double City. Ronnie Tel, thank you.
Barrio Norte, Canulay Abante.
Yes.
Thank you, Ma'am Jo. Thank you, Ma'am Jo. Good afternoon, everyone. So this is the collaborative effort. Now this is the output of Region 11, Multiplied Region 11. So after we have examined the materials given to us, so this is our consolidated output. So first question, what did we find out about the LAS? So we agreed to come up with this answer. After scanning the last samples, we found out that last is carefully developed based on the competencies found in the melt. Teaching portion in the last are differentiated and were carefully categorized. A teaching portion in the lab provides concise, essential information about the topic. So, as a way of reviewing things already taken up in the SLM, so as part of just give the precise review for the learner before doing the activities. The three activities in the lab are differentiated and were carefully categorized into easy, average, and difficult. And the learning reflection sheet helps the learners reflect the progress of their learning. Learning reflection sheets also give a clear direction to each learner and what he or she should do after knowing his or her mastery level. And then what did you find about the SLM? So after scanning the SLM samples, we found out that SLM is carefully developed based on the competencies found in the melt. The parts and activities of the SLM are carefully organized, designed to teach the practice and practice the target skills. Concepts of the lessons in the SLM are carefully developed, and each SLM is self-instructional and self-reflective. So, even yung SLM ay pwede kang si bata lang yun nandoon, no? Hindi niya kailangan ng as far as kailangan kaya na ng bata na gawin yung module ng walang facility, walang magpa-facilitate sa kanya. So, self-instructional siya. Nakamute kasi. Ronnie, saan yan mute po? Apo, thank you, ma'am. Do you think the last supplements to SLM? Why do you say so? Yes, based on the structure and the content of the last, that includes activities and such reflection skills, you can say that it is a supplementary material to the existing activities in the SLM. Activities in the labs provide opportunities to practice and master what they have learned in the SLM. Thus, it helps improve learners' outcome and achievement. The learners become independent learners. And the last question, do you think the labs can be used to complement the SLM? Yes, since the target competency is of the labs is the same with that of the SLM. So in the preparation of the labs, uh, the writer based the activities basing on the competencies found in the MELT. So it is aligned that the competencies were aligned, the competencies used in the lab is aligned with that of the SLM. So that's for Region 11 output. Thank you very much and good afternoon everyone. Basta Region 11, diri sa DepEd 11, Sir kita Abante. Daghang salamat.
Maraming salamat, Region 11, for presenting your findings on the comparison between LAS and SLM. So later po tayo for some clarification during our open forum. Now, tingnan po natin, sino po ang gustong sumunod? Volunteer on Region 11? Any volunteer? Let me just see your hand. Pag-raise lang po. Yeah. Region 9 would like to present next. Okay. So may I request the facilitator from Region 9, Ma'am Ian Plata, to introduce the presenter from Region 9.
Thank you, Ma'am Carmen. So Region 9 had a very productive discussion on session 4 on DS and SLM. So the group was composed of the divisions of Isabela City, Dipolog, Dapitan, Pagadian, Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga City, and Zamboanga City. So the facilitator a while ago was Mr. Pedro Schmaquite from Dipolog, and the scribe was Miss Alma Belarmino from Zamboanga del Sur. So I will now turn it over to them for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ian, for being with us and silently guiding us along the way. Ma'am Ian, can you see my PowerPoint now?
Yes, sir. Kita po.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, Ma'am Alma, and all the people from Region 9. This is our collaborative output. So, uh, Region 9 says, what do you find out about the learning activity sheet? Learning activity sheets are reflection sheets. They contain different activities addressing the different levels of the learners, and it takes off from activating prior knowledge. Finally, it encourages self-assessment that promotes accountability to their own learning. So, yan po ang insights. Of course, there were plenty, no? The discussion was really impregnated with brilliant ideas. Ito lang po yung ano natin highlight. What did you find out about the SLM? The SLM has formative assessment for instructional decision purposes, and it manifests spiral progression in the design of activity. It is self-contained, it is reflective, and very motivating for our learners. And as the name goes, SLM, self-learning module. So here in our question number 2, do you think that the learning activity sheet supplements the self-learning module? Region 9 says yes, and there was not a single no in our discussion. Yes, it is doable, and it also considers the learner context. No? Kaya the last po is very supplementing doon sa SLM. Another idea is that it gives premium on the note that as we design activities, class ensures activities to ignite prior knowledge. geared towards developing independent learners, and LAS is a modification for an SLM, a student finds hard to understand. Okay, so and finally, do you think that learning activity sheet can be used to complement SLM? Meron pong parang nagbigay ng parang overall idea about question number 2 and question number 3 being very related. So the answer again po is yes. Yes, because yung SLM po, while it is true that there are two different activities, documents, but it can be incorporated in the LAS. At times, LAS can be the most qualified SLM substitute. Both of them are now aligned, and uh, labs can be used to complement SLM because it strengthens learning with the provisions of series of activities from simplest to the most complex. Both are self-motivating and both are reflective. Help learners enhance their learning when they find the SLMS difficult to comprehend. So, ito din po yung parang view ng Dipolog City dito, no? Yung SLM po. Then, yung last po is yung kung hindi makapoke talaga doon sa SLM, then they can go to LAS. LAS is an intervention that gives us that gives you to actors to learners diverse uh, LAS is an intervention that gives due accord to learners' diverse needs, and both contains more or less the same elements with the same intent of making learners improve performance. So, thank you very much for the P4 and the organizers of this event. Reporting to you live from Region 9, that's the Faculty. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Region 9, for very comprehensive presentation on your findings between SLM and LAS. So, we did work on the as supplement, as modification, and intervention. So now, meron po bang gustong sumunod na mag-present? Ang natitira po ay Region 10, 12,
Sir Michael,
and 5. Are you ready?
Ma'am Carmen.
Yes, sir.
Ready na po ba kayo mag-present?
I just wanted to do presentation to Sean next to regional.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. So, ready na ba sila, sir?
I will describe po namin, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Perhaps ang present.
So,
Thank you po.
Region 9 to kindly click for the stop share. Paklik na lang po yung stop share. Sir, please.
Hello, ma'am?
Opo, pakiclick na po yung stop share para...
Yeah.
Thank you very much po.
Thank you very much po. Sorry.
Okay lang po. So, ang card po ba ready na, Ma'am Elena?
Yes. Yes po, ma'am. Ready na po kami.
Okay, thank you very
Kami na
much.
ba?
I am pleased to present our team headed by the Regional Multi-Grade Coordinator, Dr. Elena Kapampangan. Ma'am Elena, could you please present our
Okay. Okay po, ma'am. Thank you.
So we have here our dancing master, Mama Renel Posari from the Bukandang School, and Mama Marlene Abitan Kamisi. Our reporter is none other than the division and principal person of Tourism Store and the person of Sir Elmi Anthony Virginia. Sir?
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. In behalf of participants, I would like to present to you our consolidated responses with regards to the fintech given by the, by the central office. Okay, so first, what did you find out about the lab? So here are our responses. Learning activity provides differentiated and learning-centered activities that will ensure pupils' active engagement in the learning process. So we have also other observation, learning activity sheet supports learning materials provided by teacher in order to aid learners who are experiencing difficulties in accomplishing their self-learning modules. Then for question number two, what did you find out about LM? So self-learning materials have some characteristics present, no, such as self-explanatory, self-contained, self-directed, self-motivating, and self-evaluating. Moreover, SLMs are shadow features in the implementation of the new learning modality, the distance learning. SLMs were aligned and compliant in the MELS, and most of all, it follows the learning episode of the learning. Then the next question, do you think class supplements the SLM? Why do you say so? So yes, it supplements the SLM. This class and SLM supplements the required learning every child needs. So these learning materials are used purposely for the modular class. So they supplement each other. Then the last, second to the last using class can be used to complement SLM. Yes, because it can reinforce competencies which cannot be fully illustrated or demonstrated by the SLM. Number one limitation is SLM, the paging is the paging. That is why in math there are more SLM than the number of bits because panels cannot be fit in one 32 pages SLM. It supplements it complements also the SLM because activities provided in labs are aligned to the MELS in the SLM. I think that would be all. Thank you very much.
Very much, Saraga team, for presenting a very comprehensive findings on the SLM. Thank you. So now, so we're done with region 9, 10, 11, and Taraga. Sino po ang gustong sumunod?
Region 10 po, ma'am.
Oh, region 10. So may I request the facilitator of region 10 to present her group, Ma'am Rose Serrano.
Hapon po, isinalulubos ko maging bahagi ng breakout session for today po for I'm part of Region 10. Initially, there were 40 participants who came in the breakout room and then sumunod na lang po yung iba. Nagpapasalamat kami led by able leadership po ni Ma'am Ellen because we gave an assignment division, no? Nag-partner ang mga division to take charge of the LAS and the SLM walkthrough. So, may mga assignments. And 20 minutes were given for this analysis. And I'm giving now the honor to Ma'am Ellen to introduce po our scribe and broadcaster. Ma'am Ellen.
Thank you po. And for region 10, our scribe is Miss Grace Galindo. And our reporter for this afternoon is Miss Joanne May Lumano from Himog City Division. Miss Grace is from Division of Misamis Occidental. So this is the collaborative effort of that Region 10, and our presentation is on screen na po. Ms. Joanne, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, especially to our pioneers for this activity. And here it is, the Region 10, the best and yes. Here we will be presenting our answers from the activity. So we have divided all of these answers per division. And for the first question, what did you find out about the LAS? So the New City Division says that LAS has the following: has an introduction or short overview of the lesson, has three differentiated skills for mastery of skills, and has answer keys. That's also LRS. For the reflection one, has table for learning outcomes, and for the scoring and mastery level. For the reflection two, the narrative about rating oneself and realization after taking the LAS. The second response is from Summit Occidental, which says the LES supplements the SLM. It helps the learner understand the topic more. It even helps enhance the learner's understanding. For example, and concept notes that are given prior to the exercises. The LES can even stand on its own as a learning resource for distance learning. And for the next edition, or Rosetta, it says that they have found out that the learning activity sheets of Araling Panlipunan were content for teaching which hit the MELT appropriately. There were such examples that will answer the competency. The activities were enough to cater the needs of the learning competency. And the LES helps not only the fast learner students, but also the slow-paced learners. And the LES for Aralin Lipunan has only 13 stages. And the Orcata division said about what did you find out about the SLM? They find out that SLM are there are a lot of plenary discussions and also activities that are advantageous for the fast-paced learners only. Some activities are high level and they think that some students, especially the slow-paced learners, may not be able to attain those activities. And it has only 24 patients. And the next revision said about the SLM, coming on city, we said that LAS are used by teachers to supplement the SLM to understand the student's previous knowledge, the outcomes of learning, and process of learning. At the same time, students can monitor the progress of their own learning. And another about the LAS supplements the SLM. Why do you say so? The Summit of SEO says that yes, I think the LAS can be used to deepen the understanding of the learners to the lesson. The LAS can also be used as the determiner of the grades of the learners, while the SLM results can be used for decision making. If there was a need to make an intervention or update the lesson. Now, since the SLM has entities, I think that is best to use the LAS instead for grading. And the next is question number three, again, about the LAS supplement. In Wall City Division, we said that since the LAS supports the learner's learning for essential skills and knowledge, it can really complement with the SLM. And for the next question, and for the next response from Islamic Occidental, they strongly find that the LES for English quarter one week one is congruent to the SLM for quarter one week one. The LES seems to have been created based from the SLM. The objective is aligned to the activities also. The LES can definitely be used to complement the SLM and should the teacher feel that the learner needs more activity. And the Orvetta City Division says, yes, they think that LES can be used to complement SLM. So
to lessen the stress of the learners by having so many activities to be answered. And for the next, and that's it from Region 10, the best and yes. This is John Macy Lumanog saying that we should have to furtherly advocate on the quality of basic education amid the times of COVID pandemic. This is John Macy Lumanog together with me are the prime movers of Region 10. And we would like to thank all of the people who are with us, especially the people working in the multi-grade education program to strongly uplift the education even with the challenges of the pandemic. Once again, good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you very much, Adam, the output of your journey. Thank you so much.
Grabe, ang galing ng boses ng
Kaya nga, nakaka-inlove si Ma'am.
boses ni Ma'am Joanne. Right, natin pa. Ano yung love kayo sa board?
Natulalakan tama.
Maraming salamat.
Salamat din dyan, Salamat po. Joanne and Ma'am Grace po for consolidating the output.
Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome. Very much. Thank you very much.
Ma'am Carmen.
Yes po.
Dahil yan talaga yan si Ma'am Joanne. Magandang
Ano po? Yes, ma'am Elena. Okay po. Now, sino po ang gustong sumunod? Ang natitira na lamang po ay tatlong region. Region Hill, Barn, and High.
Ma'am Carmen, Ma'am ready po.
Oh, yeah, Sir Guillermo Rivera. Go ahead, sir. May I request your facilitator from Barn to introduce your presenter. I think it's Ma'am Lee.
Yes, Ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon po.
Emo pa.
Good afternoon po. I would like to present the BARM participants. The discussion was spearheaded by Sir Guillermo Rivera Jr., who will also be the reporter. Everyone shared the ideas. The scribe is Ma'am Marilyn Grace Pudo. She diligently put all the ideas. Now let's welcome Sir Guillermo Rivera Jr. Take it away, Sir Guillermo.
Right, so good afternoon po. Flo and Cynthia. We are from BARM. We are the consolidated effort right, and based on the BARM group with regards to our talk session. Now, the first question, you find out about the LAS, the learning competencies is on map. It contains reflection sheets that provide self-assessment for learners. Another, it is aligned with the learning competencies and is based on the Bloom's as you see the different learning competencies there range from different activity, the first activity to the second, the third one is range on the Bloom's taxonomy. Now, another findings that two parts. One is portion, learning activities, and the answer key for reflection one and reflection two. Now, how about in the SLM? What did you know about the SLM? Now, primary learning resources for all grade level, the self-learning material is a tool that can use the learners to learn easily and understand concept ideas. The SLM, the learner master the competencies, although the areas that high-level activities wherein slow learners kung medyo mahirap mag-cope. These are the most essential learning competencies just like the LAS. So another finding that self-learning modality that is applicable in today's new normal. The standard for learners and doable is facilitated by the learners, the peers, just like parents, guards, and our students. Now, another question, do you think last supplement SLM? Why do you think so? Yes. The answer of one is yes. Last supplement SLM because it provides a more organized framework of providing learning activities based on the level of complexity. It simply provides an order of cognitive behavior that needs to learn or master. And the last question, I think last used to complement the SLM, he said yes, despite of this investment, reflects the cognitive and effective learning performance of the pupils or learners. I guess this is one of the distinct features of LAS as compared to the SLM because the learners would really reflect how they're going to test the performance. This needs an effective reflection. And that makes the LAS unique from the SLM. And finally, it provides opportunities for to master. So that's all for Barn for listening.
Maraming salamat, Team Barn, headed by the able multi-grade coordinator, Ma'am Aura Binto, Sir Guillermo Rivera. Salamat po for your presentation. So we now have two more. So sino po
Po,
kaya
ma'am.
ang mauna? Oh, yeah. Yes,
From
sir,
Region
from
12.
Region 12.
Yes po, ma'am. Yes po.
So may I call the facilitator of Region 12 to introduce the presenter. Region 12 facilitator is Sir Warren Quesada. Sir Warren, are you in the room?
Yes po, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So, before the presenter will present the output for Region 12, let me introduce first. Our presenter for Region 12 is no other than Sir Michael Lloyd Matos. Sir Michael,
Warren, Ma'am Anna.
go ahead, sir.
So, I will to extend my apology that you can hear. Here in Calamansig right now, it's here. So, I'm so sorry. Try to have a... Ma'am Carmen, am I loud?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay po. Thank you. My utmost best courtesy to the purpose training workshop, the utilization of learning behind the reality, and to the participants today, to all of us, the output was done through collaborative breakout sessions. Next slide, ma'am. For question, what did you find out? We found out that on milk, clear and direct, less number of pages. Another is if the topic big milk. That much also to answer by the learner. Moreover, it considers we have cognitive other doable to difficult. Another is topic based on social learning competence. Labs are ma'am. So side and cater the needs of the learners in different levels. The level in the activities are a reflection sheet, thoughts about the reflection two, they felt after the rate task. Last is version of that incorporates the necessary competencies included in furthermore, correct, as in making it more easy or easier to answer. Then, and then for other questions, I think the last supplement, why do you say so? Last can be used to concept of last as LM and math. However, last can be used in the without SLM. Saves thousands of pictures. Last to SLM through giving strengthen. Furthermore, it gives differentiated instruction to day-to-day living learners, which the learners and meaningful pandemic. Yes, it is aligned with uses Bloom's taxonomy in giving activities to the learners because it is smart and concise, like, can make the topics measurable, realistic. Slide, ma'am. Okay. Third question. Do you can last be used to supplement? Yes, last supplement. Do you have the same competence? Yes, supplement the SLMs because in the last that find in the SLMs are of huge help and learn the lesson. Yes, last supplemental to SLM is our basis in on the turn after SLMs. We will make an additional activity should be given to the learner to develop their understanding and problem size and achievable. Second is conversation. There is reflection where parents can assess the learning of their children. Next slide, ma'am. Another is, yes, it's the SLM and last, how this and last can be used